Germany after defeat. And from Berchtesgaden come first pictures of Hitler's famed mountain hideaway after its blasting by Allied bombs in the final weeks of the European War. These are Army Air Force films. Also at Berchtesgaden, Goering's stolen art collection on exhibit, courtesy of the heroic 101st Airborne Division. From all over Europe, Goering looted these masterpieces by conservative estimates worth $200 million. Statues, too, were Nazi prisoners, and priceless works of art are now liberated. Parts of the collection were hidden in air raid shelters, the rest loaded on Goering's special train.
We're going to talk today about a very little known 101st Airborne artifact, or actually 301st Airborne artifacts. And this is a really interesting story to me. At the end of the war, of course, the 101st Airborne got up to the Obersalzberg and was around Hermann Goering's house and in Berchtesgaden, and they ended up taking control of some of the items that were taken from Hermann Goering, especially the artwork. That was what they were mostly concerned with. We have a photo here of some 101st guys looking at some of Hermann Goering's silver, and some of the things that they found were some silver chalices. And the idea came about to make goblets, like presentation honor goblets for members of the high command. I believe that idea came from them also seeing what were called Luftwaffe honor goblets, which were given to a lot of the Luftwaffe pilots, and they were just silver chalices engraved with their name and certain other information. So the first ones that were actually made were, they had these large ones that were made for the highest command in the 101st Airborne. So like General Taylor would have gotten one, and I believe this only went to general officers. So this happens to be General McAuliffe's goblet, and this is made from one of Hermann Goering's goblets, and you see Hermann Goering's coat of arms there. And it's re-engraved with General McAuliffe's name, and it has the campaigns, Normandy, Holland, Bastogne, Germany. And on the other side, it retains Hermann Goering's wife's coat of arms. So these were his wedding goblets. And we can see these in some of the photographs of the 101st in that room with Hermann Goering's silver. So I don't know how many of these exist. I think General Taylor has one. It might be at West Point. I'm not sure. This is General McAuliffe's. Which to me is the most interesting of the 101st Airborne generals. He's the guy that said nuts. So some of the other high command in the 101st staff officers had this type made, and these were made out of Hermann Goering's hunting goblets. Now I've seen a few of these; they're extremely rare, and each year when Hermann Goering would have a kill, this has the name in 1936. Each one has a different year, so he would go out on a hunt for these type of animals each year. And the other ones I saw, it had a different amount of horns and a different date and a different place of kill. So this one, again, was Hermann Goering's, and it was taken and it was given to this guy right here. That's Lieutenant Colonel Harry Elkins, who was commander of the 377th Parachute Field Artillery Battalion. And I believe he moved up to like part of the division staff at some point. But this was his cup, and it has his campaigns and all his information on here too. So the higher up officers got these, and Colonel Sink, commander of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne, this guy right here. Colonel Sink, being Colonel Sink, thought, well, my officers need to have an honor goblet too. So they took some of the other silver goblets and made this type. And this is it's called a sink goblet by collectors and historians. And he had a silversmith in Austria, because by this time they were down in Zelensee and some of them were down in Cape Prune. But this was made by they took an existing goblet and reworked it by a silversmith and had these miniature jump wings put on. And it has, again, the campaigns, Normandy, Holland, Bastogne, Germany. And it has the recipient's name. And in this case, it's Lieutenant Colonel C.H. Chase. Now, Lieutenant Colonel C.H. Chase, this guy right here, he was the executive officer of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment. So basically, he was Colonel Sink's second in command. And we recently got this from Colonel Chase's daughter, and we're very grateful to her for donating this to our museum.
A couple other things that I want to point out on these goblets. One, this one, being an outdoorsman myself, anything with antlers is going to jump out at me. But if you look at the inside of this goblet, you can see this is all hand hammered. So this is some pretty high quality stuff. And then again, we can see on all of these the different campaigns with Normandy, Holland, Bastogne. This one, it's down at the bottom here. And then again, with the sink cup, you can see the different campaigns. Now, Ed Shames in later years said that with the sink cups, we're looking at Robert Sink right here, he said that these goblets were made from German silver coins that had been melted down, and that's not right. That's incorrect. The grade of silver is different for these than what you see on German silver coins. So anyway, very, very interesting and very, very rare.
So I'm probably fairly certain that 101st Airborne aficionados will know about these, at least the sink cup. These are much more rare. They've been mentioned on some forums, and they're in some of the Mark Bando books. He talks about them. But really, most people probably don't know these exist. And they're extremely rare, especially these two. I mean, but we're happy to have an example of all three types. And if you ever see one or have one, please contact us. We'd be very interested in talking to you about it.